The War Council of the Crethean Empire fell silent as Commander Vexthor displayed the final transmission. On the holographic screen, Admiral Zorn's face contorted in confusion, then terror, before the feed cut to static. 20,000 warships gone, vanished without a trace near the unremarkable yellow star that housed the primitive world called Earth. "This is impossible," High Chancellor Morthak hissed, his scales rippling with agitation. "The humans possess no weapons capable of this. Our intelligence reports confirmed they barely achieved faster than light travel 3 cycles ago." Vexthor's 4 eyes narrowed, yet Warlord Krajan's entire fleet disappeared in their space. "We must investigate." The Crethean Empire had conquered 47 star systems in the past century. Their military doctrine was simple: overwhelming force, complete annihilation of resistance, and swift subjugation. When preliminary scans identified Earth as resource-rich but technologically backward, Warlord Krajan had volunteered to claim it as his personal tributary world. He had taken the Empire's finest battle group, ships that had glassed planets and broken the will of species far more advanced than humanity. Now nothing remained but silence. Vexthor assembled a reconnaissance fleet, careful to bring only expendable vessels and skeleton crews. As they approached Earth's solar system, every sensor was active, every weapon primed. The crew expected ambush, some hidden human superweapon, perhaps the alliance with an unknown power. What they found was far more unsettling. The wreckage field appeared on their scanners first, thousands upon thousands of debris fragments, each one tagged with Crethean identifiers. Krajan's fleet had indeed been destroyed, but not by any weapon Vexthor recognized. The hull fragments showed no blast patterns, no energy signatures, no kinetic impact damage. Instead, the ships appeared to have been disassembled. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," the communications officer announced, her voice trembling. "It's from the human homeworld." The face that appeared on screen was unremarkable by galactic standards, a human female with graying hair and tired eyes. She wore no military uniform, no ceremonial armor, just simple civilian clothing. "I am Secretary General Martinez of the United Earth Government," she said in flawless Crethean. "We've been expecting you." Vexthor's mandibles clicked in surprise. "What have you done with our fleet? What weapon did you use?" Martinez's expression didn't change. "No weapon, Commander. We didn't destroy your ships. We simply asked them not to attack us." "Impossible! Warlord Krajan would never—" "Warlord Krajan is alive and well," Martinez interrupted, "as are all 20,000 ships and approximately 47 million members of his fleet. They're currently in orbit around Mars, undergoing what we call cultural exchange programs." The reconnaissance crew exchanged bewildered glances. Vexthor's translator must be malfunctioning. "You captured an entire battle fleet without firing a shot?" "Not captured, Commander. Convinced." Martinez leaned forward, her eyes gaining an intensity that made Vexthor's combat instincts flare. "You see, your empire makes a fundamental error about humanity. You assume that because we're technologically young, we're evolutionarily primitive. But humans didn't climb to the top of Earth's food chain through strength or natural weapons. We did it through something far more dangerous." "And what is that?" Vexthor demanded. "Mimetic warfare," Martinez replied. "The ability to change minds, to spread ideas like viruses, to make others see the world through our perspective. Your warlord came here expecting primitives who would cower before his might. Instead, he found 7 billion humans who have spent their entire history perfecting the art of persuasion, negotiation, propaganda, religion, art, music, and storytelling." She pressed a button and new images flooded the screen. Crethean warriors walking through human cities not as conquerors but as tourists. Soldiers attending concerts, crying at theatrical performances, debating philosophy with human students. Admiral Zorn himself sat in a small Earth cafe, animatedly discussing something with an elderly human over cups of coffee. "Within 3 days of entering our space, your soldiers were exposed to our media, our culture, our ideas," Martinez continued. "They learned about democracy, individual rights, the concept that strength should protect rather than dominate. They discovered music that spoke to emotions they didn't know they had. They read stories about honor, sacrifice, and redemption. They tasted food created for pleasure rather than mere sustenance." Vexthor felt something cold settle in his combat-hardened hearts. "You infected them?" "We shared with them," Martinez corrected gently. Humans are a social species, Commander. We survive by forming connections, by building communities, by turning strangers into friends and enemies into allies. Your warriors weren't defeated, they were welcomed. And once they experienced what life could be like without constant conquest, most of them didn't want to go back. This is a trick, a deception. Then speak to them yourself, Martinez offered. We've set up a communication channel. Talk to your warlord. Moments later, Krajan's face appeared on an adjacent screen. The fierce conqueror who had razed cities and enslaved populations looked different, relaxed, almost peaceful. Commander Vexthor, Krajan said, I know this must be confusing. I felt the same way at first. But these humans, they've shown me things. Ideas. Possibilities I never considered. He paused, seeming to search for words. Did you know that strength can be used to build instead of destroy? That respect can be earned rather than taken? That there are forms of conquest that don't require bloodshed? You've been compromised, Vexthor snarled. The Empire is afraid, Krajan interrupted, his voice firm but not angry. Afraid that if soldiers like us discover there's another way to live, we'll question everything we've been taught. And you know what? We should question it. Come down to earth, Vexthor. See for yourself. What do you have to lose? Everything, Vexthor thought. But despite himself, he was curious. What weapon could turn a warlord into a philosopher? What force could dismantle an army without firing a shot? As his ship approached Earth, Vexthor realized the terrifying truth. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology or firepower. It was hope. The hope that life could be better, that power could be shared, that former enemies could become friends. And hope, unlike any physical weapon, couldn't be defended against. It could only be embraced or rejected, and once embraced, it changed everything.